What are you missing out on when you're working too many hours at work? Most people don't like to think about this. When I ask most entrepreneurs about what they think they're missing out on, they'll say, Wade, I'm not missing out on anything. I get my work done. I'm making more money. I'm making more money so I can have more things and so my family can be happy. And very often, especially if you're an entrepreneur, the concept of lost opportunity usually applies to income. Well, Wade, if I had done this project, I would have made more money. Or wait, if I hadn't have done this project and wasted my time, I had this lost opportunity. I could have been doing something else and making more money. But what are you missing out on with the people around you? Your loved ones, your friends, your family. And this is not a guilt thing. This is something for you to really think about. For me, when I'm working too many hours, a few things happen. Some of them are obvious and some of them are more subtle. The more obvious ones are that I'm simply not available to play with my kids and hang out with my wife. In my case, I primarily work from home. So if I'm not available and if I'm in my office and I'm kind of to the side, there's this sort of sense that life is going on outside here and I'm not part of that. And so I'm kind of hearing it, but usually I'm tuned out, I'm working on my work and I'm doing my thing. And so I might not feel it as much. But I know as I've talked to my kids and when I come out and see my wife, I see that they're feeling it. They miss me. They still like me. And so there's that. But in addition to that, when I'm working too many hours, when I talk with people, I'm not as present. So I'm talking with them, but I'm thinking about something else. My mind's over here, but they're talking to me, but I'm really not there. And so my kids will say something and gosh, we all say as parents, we're never going to do this. We're going to always give our kids undivided attention. But the kid's saying something and I'm not really tuned in and they're saying good stuff. I'm not saying they're going, meh, 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 meh. They're actually saying something that's important, that's huge for them, that they're sharing with me, that they want to connect with me. They want to make a connection. And I'm too busy in my head and in my world because I'm letting work take over me. I want you to think about something. There are 168 hours in a week. 24 times 7 is 168. And if you do the math of the idea of us sleeping roughly 8 hours a night, which is by most accounts the healthier thing to do, that takes you to 56 hours minus 168. That's 112 hours. And let's say there's another 12 hours in a week just to make math nice and round and pretty and simple. Another 12 hours a week where we're either just showering, or doing something, bathing, brushing our teeth, something that's not really where we're present or available or connecting with people. So we've got 100 hours roughly of time that we can choose what we want to do in a week. Now, within that time, you might say, wait, no, actually, I don't have 100 hours that I choose. I need a job, and whether I like my job or not, I need to invest about 50 hours a week in that job. Okay, great. 50 hours a week. How long is your commute? Oh, wait, my commute's a half hour each way. So that's 5 days a week. So now that's 55 hours. How long does it take you to get ready for work? Wait, it takes me a half hour. So now we're at 57 hours. And when you're off from work on your lunch break, are you really getting much like personal time? No, wait, I'm just going out and technically I'm off for break, but I work from 8:30 to 5. I get a half hour lunch and I'm just kind of going through the motions. Okay, now, so we're at 60 hours now where you're dedicating in some form or fashion your life to work. That's 60% of your waking time, your however you want to word that. If you want to be able to have a certain amount of health and be able to sleep and so on. So you say, okay, wait, 60 hours now is going there. And so then I've got 40 hours left to be with my family, but I'm cooking or cleaning during some of that time around the house. So that's another roughly hour a day. So then I'm down to 33 hours. Then I'm doing some other chores. And very quickly, you get down to maybe 20, 10, 15, 25, depending on your situation. Maybe a couple hours, 2 to 3 hours a day if you're doing things well. From when I talk to people, some people say, wait, I don't even have that much. And so what are you doing with that? And so this is not just even a concept of how many hours you're working within your work, but how many things are you taking on? See, one of the things you'll find, if you want to work a 4-day work week, or if you want to have an elegant, simple lifestyle business-wise, you have to cut away at things. And the same thing goes with your life outside of work. You have to cut away at your number of personal commitments and the length of time for them. So I see so many kids. My kids are 10 to 12-ish range. And I'm seeing so many kids around that they're so busy. They've got like 80 hours a week of stuff planned between school and this and that. And the kids they're up till all hours. And the kids, they're drinking coffee to stay up, like teenagers and stuff, to be able to cope with life. And it's like, okay, well, hold on. There's so many different things you could be doing, and you're obsessed. And then after a couple of years, oh, I don't like that anymore. It was too intense. So now I'm going to go do something else. I'm going to go do that really intense and get burned out from it really quickly. And gosh, just even talking about it gets me stressed out and kind of gets me wired, gets the heart rate going. There's enough time to do the most important things we want. There's not time to do everything. Once had a person tell me, Wade, you can do just about anything you want in life, but you can't do everything. And so I want to just, again, put that back to you and not lecture on it or talk much more about it, but just invite you to consider, what is it that you're missing out on? When you're working extra hours, do those extra hours, would it really matter, especially if you're an entrepreneur and you have control over your time, especially if you're working over 40 hours a week? Do the extra 3 to 5 hours, is it really making you that much money? Is it really making that much of an impact on your clients or the people you serve and their lives? What kind of impact could that make on the people around you, whether it be your kids, your loved ones, your friends? Or if you say, wait, I don't have anybody special in my life right now. And I'd say, well, okay, well, maybe there needs to be room for that. Maybe there needs to be time for that, to be able to do that. And so on the less serious side, there's a very simple question I ask people when they say, well, Wade, you know what? I don't like this 4-day work week stuff. And my employees work 5 days and I work 5 days and I hustle and I this. I say, okay, you hustle. Okay. Hustle's a word. Hustle used to be dance, back in the 70s. Those y'all are too young or too old to know that, too young to know that. The hustle. Dude, the hustle. Yeah, the hustle was a dance. It was a fun thing. And now hustle is meant I'm hustling and I'm grinding and I'm doing all these things that say, okay, wait, you're working really hard. Is that what you're saying? And I'm supposed to appreciate the fact that you're working hard. Great. Congratulations. You're working hard. That's awesome. What results have you created? See, I don't care how hard you hustle. It doesn't matter to me. If you're going to cut my grass, if you use scissors to cut my grass, I'm not going to pay you any more than if you use a lawnmower. Promise you. I just want the grass cut. And this whole focus of how hard I'm hustling, like if there's noble suffering going on here. And by the way, this is usually happening in first world countries with iPhones. So, big picture perspective. That's not suffering. So, in all of this, people are so focused on how hard they're working and they're wanting somebody to give them likes on Facebook or Instagram and say, yeah, you're hustling. Good stuff, man. You're not a lazy butt. Instead of just focusing on getting the results. And so I invite you to consider, if you can't get the results you're looking to get in 4 days a week, what's going to happen on that magical 5th day? Ooh, is it really going to be that much better? If 4 days a week, let's say you make cakes. If 4 days a week, you make disgusting tasting cakes. I don't know where that example came from, but 4 days a week, you're making just these horrible cakes. On the 5th day, all of a sudden, they're going to be tasty? Come on. So then all of this, in most of the situations, people can be able to do much better results in less time. The technology is helping us so much with productivity. And a lot of those profits are not trickling down to the employees, which is why employees are very often on Facebook and social media during the day. I'm reading this book called The 5-Hour Workday. I love it so much. And one of the points the author made is how productivity in the United States has gone up like this, and the workers' wages has gone at a much lower rate. So what do the workers do? The workers are told they have to sit out. They have to sit in the office and occupy space for a certain amount of time. But they're already getting their job done because the technology, after the 2006, 2007-ish recession, the productivity got back up. And so now they'll occupy space, but they'll be on Facebook or they'll buy stuff, Amazon.com, all these businesses that ship stuff to you. And yet again, what are they missing out on? What are you missing out on? What's the result you're looking to achieve in your business? Go in, get that result, and get out of there. What's the result you're looking to achieve with your family, your kids, your loved ones, your friends? Make time for that. Start planning your life outside of work more than you plan your life inside work. I hope you find this helpful, and I hope you really consider about what it is that you're missing out on. I invite you, take a pause now and write down 10 things that you're missing out on. See, you almost thought I missed that there. Write down 10 things that you could be missing out on right now, or you'd be doing if you had extra free time. And start looking at what you're trading that extra free time and deciding if that's really what you want to do. I hope you find this helpful. If you want more information about how we can help you, there is a tool I'd like to share with you. It's called the 4-Day Workweek Game Plan. You can go to 4daygameplan.com. If you'd like more information, go to our website, 4dayworkweek.com. Starts with the number 4dayworkweek.com. If you found this helpful, share it with your friends. I look forward to helping you make more money in less time doing what you do best so you can create the life and the lifestyle you most desire with you, your friends, your family, your loved ones. Let me know whatever I can do to help you. And thanks for listening.